Seesaw with Miss Haynes and her first grade students. I am Alice Lee, and I worked with Miss Lisa Haynes and her first graders. Lisa is new to teaching first grade and using iPads to support learning. She's been teaching fourth grade for the past 10 years, and they use MacBooks. To start, we met after school to set our students up on Seesaw and discuss standards they've been working on. They've been working on fact families and math, and Lisa agreed introducing the commutative property would be a good next step. Other standards we would be covering: collaborator. Educators dedicate time to collaborate with both colleagues and students to improve practice, discover and share resources and ideas, and solve problems. The Common Core state standard in math, the commutative property. Speaking and listening standard, participate in collaborative conversations with diverse partners about grade 1 topics with peers and adults in small and larger groups. We started out asking the students, what do you know about the commutative property? The room was silent. We started with an engaging video, and then we acted out the commutative property. 2 students plus 4 students equals 6 students. And then when we switch sides, 4 students plus 2 students equals 6 students. We demonstrated understanding using manipulatives and a dry erase board. They worked individually at their tables. Students took a picture of their work, recorded their explanation, and uploaded it to Seesaw. They were beginning to show understanding of the commutative property. The next day was presentation day, day 2. Each first grader presented their example on Seesaw. This little boy was inspired to get up and share that he now knows that 5,000 plus 100 equals 5,100, and 100 plus 5,000 equals 5,100. The steps in learning. First, we were building understanding, then presenting our learning, and finally investigating if the commutative property works for subtraction. We investigated. Does 8 minus 3 equal the same as 3 minus 8? One little boy stood up and said, only if we're allowed to go into the negative numbers. And we determined that that is not the commutative property. Goals were met. Miss Haynes set her class up in Seesaw. Students took a picture of their work, recorded an explanation, and uploaded it to Seesaw. I showed Miss Haynes other features in Seesaw, like drawing and notes. Students demonstrated and shared their learning. Research informs us. For information on research supporting Seesaw, I went to seesaw.com and discovered links to scholarly articles and results of surveys administered. Seesaw has been shown to create a sense of community at schools. It is also reported to help parents become more involved and motivate students to produce a higher quality of work. Thank you for your time. I was asked to be part of a technology workshop at a staff meeting on December 11th. I called my presentation, Interactive Technology to Enhance Teaching and Learning. Thank you for joining me. I'm Alice Lee. Today, I'm going to be covering QR codes, Nearpod, and Kahoot. The learning goals, objectives of the workshop are to introduce QR codes, provide examples of ways to use QR codes for student videos, demonstrate ways to use QR code videos to share student thinking, introduce Nearpod, have teachers participate in a Nearpod lesson, introduce Kahoot, have teachers participate in a Kahoot activity. In second grade, our Trimester 1 writing prompt is on narrative writing. I printed many different mentor texts that demonstrated narrative writing, and students were able to listen to a variety of different texts. For Christmas this year, I took a picture of each of my students, and then we read The Grinch Who Stole Christmas. They then responded with a video talking about what Christmas really means to them. When their parent takes their phone, clicks on the camera, and points at the QR code, a video of their child talking about the meaning of Christmas will pop up.
Christmas means to me is spending time with family. It also means is love, joy, and harmony. For my tradition, I sing Jingle Bells.
And Karen, Christmas means love and family to me.
We are going to place the pictures, QR codes, connection to that video in a Christmas card to parents. The steps to using QR codes for linking to websites, articles, or to a file. You get a free QR reader and you put the link in the QR reader, and then you print the QR code. Steps to using QR codes for student videos. Take a video, put it in Google Drive, copy the link and share. Go to your free QR reader and put the link in, and then print the code. I'm going to take you step by step through that process. I opened a new folder in my Google Drive and I called it Christmas Videos. I took each of these videos off the desktop and placed them in my folder. I went to one video at a time and went to Share. In Share, I got a shareable link. I went to my free QR reader and I took the copied link and I placed it in text. Then I printed out the QR codes, and that is how to make a QR code video. The next technology platform I'd like to talk about is Nearpod. Nearpod is a student engagement platform. Students can access a presentation through a code. You can move your class through the presentation and they can interact with the media as you go along. I read the book Chrysanthemum by Kevin Henkes, and I took my students through a Nearpod activity. Tips on using Nearpod. Sign up. Create your own lessons, like the one I did on Chrysanthemum. Add questions to already created slideshows. Or you can use or buy already created slide presentations on the Nearpod site, K-12 standard aligned lessons in all subjects. Using the code, lessons are synced to all devices. At the workshop, I am then going to take teachers through two different Nearpod activities, the Chrysanthemum one that I created, as well as a lesson I accessed from the Nearpod site on regrouping in addition. The final platform I would like to discuss is Kahoot. It's a game-based learning platform, enriching subject area knowledge. You find a game or create a game. In my Kahoot, I have different folders where I store all the different Kahoots that interest me. Tips on using Kahoot. Sign up. Create your own Kahoots. Make up your own questions or pull from a bank of thousands of questions. Use millions of images from Kahoot and their image library. Use already existing Kahoots. But you should check before using them because you can run into errors. So you want to definitely check through the Kahoot if you're going to use it before using it with your students. You can also make a copy of an existing Kahoot and edit it to make it fit better for your class. Using the code, lessons are synced to all devices. Advice that I would like to give is to keep things simple. I have students use their correct name and one emoji, just so that we don't waste time creating silly nicknames or using a bunch of different emojis. And once students know that that's how it works, it makes it very smooth. They put their name and they can pick one emoji. You have two different options. You can play for points or you can turn off the points. I just learned how to turn off the points and I'm very excited about that because I was finding that my students were so interested in winning that they weren't really concentrating on doing the work. They were more interested in finding out who was being successful, that they could look on their iPad and see what they were doing. So to turn off the points allows the kids to just relax and do their own work. So that's an option that you have. Kahoot and Nearpod provide feedback on student understanding. They provide individual feedback and class performance. And both platforms are highly engaging. Some standards that are covered are learner. Educators continually improve their practice by learning from and with others and explore proven and promising practices that leverage technology to improve student learning. Leader. Educators seek out opportunities for leadership to support student empowerment and success and to improve teaching and learning. Collaborator. Educators dedicate time to collaborate with both colleagues and students to improve practice, discover and share resources and ideas, and solve problems. Facilitator. Educators facilitate learning with technology to support student achievement of the ISTE standards for students. Research informs us. QR codes. Finnish educators collected data from teacher interviews and student surveys, and learning outcomes were measured. Learners found QR codes motivating and a much wanted variation to the traditional school day. Teachers found QR codes versatile and a great way to promote student-centered learning. Nearpod. Many surveys were conducted giving Nearpod high marks for personalization, creativity, and collaboration. Kahoot. There are verified, peer-reviewed research articles stating Kahoot promotes learning, interaction, and engagement. Questions to extend thinking. I will ask the teachers at the workshop how might they use technology platforms that I featured in their classroom with their students. I will also ask them what support do they think they need to bring these technology platforms to life. And finally, I will check in with them on what barriers might get in their way to using QR codes, Nearpod, or Kahoot. Thank you for your time, and I will ask the teachers if they have any questions.